Welcome, everyone. Noah here on the Dynamics Weekly newsletter and podcast. This is a special series of podcasts about Dynamic Communities Community Summit, which is scheduled for October 19th through the 23rd in Orlando, Florida. And here it is already towards the end of July. This summertime is flying past. October will be here in no time. So if you are thinking about going to Summit, but you haven't had time to register, go out to the website, check out all the offerings that are going to be there at Summit, which is the website SummitNA.com. They have plenty of sessions that are going to be offered for a lot of different Microsoft products, especially for the Dynamics community. We have presenters coming in from all over the world doing presentations. So a lot of great talented people sharing their information with everybody. Registration on that website, you have one registration for summits. There's also a second option where you can register for Academy classes on that same website. So keep in mind, they're separate. You can register for Summit, which is all the sessions during the week. And you can also register for classes if you like classroom training environments. Academy is offering classes even the week before Summit, the weekend before Summit, and there's a few after Summit as well. So check those out when you get a chance. Love to see you down there in Orlando. We'll be talking with Academy class and session presenters leading up to the conference. And today on our 39th interview, I think it's 39th, I'm losing track of these numbers here. We have Jeff Renaud with us. Jeff, how you doing today?
I know, I'm doing really good. Thanks for having me on.
Glad you could be here. Audio sounds good. So we have a little bit to chat with you about sessions that you're presenting down at Summit. And you live down there in the Orlando area, right?
I do. Yeah, I'm a recent Orlando native. Just moved in earlier this summer, but yeah, I'm local and excited to be in Florida and excited to go to Summit.
Did you move from another hot area? Are you used
Yeah,
to the humidity?
we were in the Dallas area. So yeah, it gets
Okay.
pretty hot and humid in Dallas, especially in this spring and summer.
Yep. So I see you listed as VP of Enterprise Applications for Hart Hanks. You're the second Hart Hanks person I've had on the podcast here. So welcome here. I've got a couple of more I'll catch later. But how long have you been with Hart Hanks there?
Yeah, I joined the company about 3.5 years ago. They had kind of just begun their digital transformation and modernization series of initiatives. So I was brought in as part of that to, implement, modern ERP and supply chain management systems and other back office business applications.
Hmm. And I see that you focus on Dynamics 365, Power Platform, and Microsoft Fabric, at least in the bio there.
Hmm.
That
Yep.
Dynamics 365, is that just Business Central, or does that include F&O as well?
So it's actually two products of D365 that we have implemented. We have F&O, where we mostly use the supply chain modules, warehouse management, inventory management, product information management, production, sales orders, that kind of stuff. Then the other product that we have that really sits on top of F&O is commerce. So we do have a client-facing web portal for one of our customers, and they place orders through the web on the e-commerce platform, and those synchronize down into D365 for as sales orders.
Does Hart Hanks have a global client pool, or is it you focus on the Florida area?
We are primarily domestic. Hart
Hmm.
Hanks has a multiple like business units. So this our D365 deployment is one of the four primary business units at present time. So yeah,
Okay.
other business units do have like global customer base, but the fulfillment business unit is domestic only at this time.
Okay. And for our summit, you've got your session is going to be on Monday, It's an afternoon session at 3 o'clock. That is the title of it is Leveraging the Fabric Modern Data Platform with D365 Supply Chain for Self-Service Reporting. And you are co-presenting that with another person from Hart Hanks,
Yep,
Alex Phillips.
that's right. Yep, Alex is on our D365 team. And yeah, he and I will tag team this one. Yeah, this is really going to give folks an overview of our project and in particular, almost like a sub project of the D365 implementation, which is really
Hmm.
the data and reporting aspect of it. We've really had a vision for while there's a lot of out of the box reports and inquiries in D365 F&O. Those reports and inquiries don't give you everything that you need. And so, and sometimes they could be tedious to run and export and such. So, leveraging a modern data platform like Fabric, which is kind of natively already integrated with D365, you can really empower the end users to run their own reporting for themselves operationally, as well as for external, client reporting that we may send to them.
Is this a new session that you're presenting, or have you done this one before?
I haven't. No, I haven't presented at Summit ever. This is probably my third Summit I've been to. It's been many years. I think maybe 16. I went to 16 or 18. I lose track of the dates. I've been to Phoenix and I've been to Nashville in the past. So whenever those were in the past 10 years, I went to those. But yeah, it's been a while since I've been to Summit, but this is the first time presenting at one.
Okay, first time presenting, and first time there at in Orlando, which is
Right.
yeah, they've got it at the Gaylord, which is a great resort. I believe it's the third time they're having it at the Gaylord there, but a really
Not
great
surprised.
venue for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And your session is just that first Monday, but will you be there the whole
Yeah.
week?
Absolutely. Yep. Gonna be there the whole week. Really planning to get a lot out of the week, both from a kind of a networking standpoint as well as, just learning and learning from the content presented and hopefully, meeting other folks, other customers that are implementing D365 or have recently done so and, learning from their journey and kind of what their roadmap is as well. As a VP of enterprise apps, my role is also very forward looking. So not only is, what are we doing today with D365 and just the broader ecosystem, but, where does it make sense to put plans in place for additional rollout, more adoption, leveraging more of the capabilities of the system that we're not leveraging today. So I think going to events like this and hearing what others are doing and what they're planning and talking to them about their use cases, both current and then future state plans, I think is going to be really helpful. I'm looking forward to that.
I agree. These conferences, two big things that come out of these are the education pieces,
Hmm.
learning about the products, learning about how people are using it. And the other big thing that comes with these conferences is networking. Meeting
Yeah.
people who are using the products that you're using, see who the experts are, and getting to know them so that when you go back to your office and you have problems, you know who to contact.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And I have done that in the past, and I've been that for other people in the past that people I've met at other summits in the past. So yeah, that's a really exciting and beneficial aspect of attending these events.
Hmm. This is a breakout session, so those are about 60 minutes. So for this 60 minutes that you and Alex will be presenting, will you be in the products predominantly, or is this more
Ye-
presentation on
Yeah,
discussion?
I the plan would be at least 50% of the time be in the product. Really, there's kind of three products here, at least if not more than 50% of the time. So we do have F&O itself, to show the source of the data, um, and then we have the Power Platform, which is kind of like the bridge between F&O and Fabric. That's how you get the data over to Fabric is through the Power Platform. So I'll show some of the configuration there. and then show, the end result in Fabric with the lake houses and the warehouses and the semantic model. And then actually there's a fourth component, which would be Excel, Microsoft Excel itself. So we've chosen to use Excel as the end user reporting tool, the client tool that connects into Fabric. So many folks are just live and die by Excel already. And it also,
especially accountants, we love it.
yeah, accountants, but even like client services folks, people that interact with our customers, our customers look for Excel extracts often. And so, setting up pivot table based reports that you click a button and you push refresh and it gets you the latest and greatest data. And then optionally, if they just want to save that out and share it with the customer, they can do that. So yeah, the flexibility and the beauty of just a tool that people are used to day in and day out, if not for decades, with Excel, really increases our adoption as well. They don't have to learn even though there's obviously Power BI and other tools that have a lot of value. There's sometimes a learning curve hurdle. Whereas if you just give them Excel and it's a tool they're already using, and now you have a dynamic data connection into Excel, I mean, the adoption is through the roof. So far, there's been a lot of positive response, a lot of favorable feedback on what we built and the data models we built and pushed out by our end users. So it's been a win so far.
Good. I see the ability level is set for 101, people who are new to these products. The primary product is listed as Dynamics 365 F&O, and the primary track, business intelligence and reporting, just for people who are searching for these things with those different tags there.
Right.
Do you know if, so you're co-presenting with Alex. Has Alex done these before?
No, I believe this is his first summit as well.
Okay.
And yeah, and we're gonna kind of tag team it where I'm gonna focus more on some of the architecture and the configurations, and then Alex has been more the front line working with our customers, our users on what data they need, what KPIs they need, how to pull those reports together in a self-service means, and how to satisfy those business requirements kind of on the user facing side.
Do you have in mind a target audience for this session? It's like the IT for end user clients, partner channel people, or do you have a different target audience?
Because it's a one-on-one and we have limited time, we're not really going to deep dive on the technology itself, give more of an overview. But I think for IT folks that are supporting their D365 and or their BI platform, I think those folks will get benefit if they don't already, do something like this. I think they will get benefit and ideas of how to go about rolling this out, and making kind of this tooling available to their users. And then on the business side or the user side, I think it's going to be beneficial for that audience as well, because they'll get an understanding and appreciation of like what's possible outside of D365 itself. Like they may or may not know that that there's other options outside of the on-screen reports and inquiries. So I think it can serve kind of multiple audiences.
Okay. And I do see it listed as a recorded session. So you'll have cameras while you're doing the presentation, and people can see that after Summit. It's probably going to be available just for people who register for Summit. I'm not sure, but but at least they'll have that option, because there's so many sessions that there's really no way everybody can get to every session they want to go to.
Right.
Having these recorded on-demand sessions later is a really great benefit for these conferences.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. So that's great for everybody, including me, because I mean, when I'm presenting at a minimum, I'm going to miss that session, and there's going to be other sessions that I want to go to at the same time, but you can only physically be at one place at one time. So yeah, that's good news that they're going to be on demand.
Yeah, there are hundreds of sessions that they have packed into Summit. So, and a big tip for everybody who's going down to Summit, to all of our listeners and everything, if you are going to Summit, go ahead and start now looking at the sessions that you may have any interest in at all, adding those to your list. I'm putting mine into Excel spreadsheets to keep track of the ones that I really want to make it to. Because if you wait to look at all those sessions and try to figure out what you're going to do the day that you get there, there's no way you'll have time to sort through all those sessions. There's just too many to pick from. So get a jump on it. Go ahead and start mapping out what you want to catch, what you want to attend before Summit even starts. And Jeff, I didn't see a booth for Heart Hank in the expo hall, so no booth this year.
No, yeah, I don't think I don't think we got in front of that one. But yeah, maybe in the future we can have a booth. That probably be good, generate some business, some
So,
leads.
yep. So for people who want to have questions for you before Summit starts or after your session, what's your preferred method for them to contact you?
Yeah, email would work. Yeah, my email
Okay.
is my first name dot last name at hearthanks.com.
Okay, good deal. We'll have that in the captions and in the bio as well for everybody. Because again, it's hard for people to make all the sessions, so they may know that you presented this session, not be able to make it, but still want to meet up with you later for questions.
Yeah, I welcome that.
Is your office pretty close to the Gaylord down there?
Well, we don't really have I mean, we do have a couple physical locations. We're primarily a remote company as of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
They were originally based in the Austin, Texas area, and in 2022 they shut down the majority of our facilities. And
Mm-hmm.
so when I joined the company, that had already occurred. So they pretty much went fully remote, with the exception of we have a fulfillment warehouse in the south of Boston in an area called East Bridgewater, and then we have another fulfillment warehouse in Kansas City. But
Okay.
aside from that, all the other employees, unless they're physically stationed at one of those two locations, works remotely.
Yep, same situation with my company. I have really not had to go to a real office since 2001. I don't know if I could go to an office again. So,
Yeah, it would be an adjustment. Yeah, we've had to, for the project last year, we definitely had to do some on-site travel because we were configuring the warehouse and doing training on site and all that. But yeah, aside from travel, periodic travel here and there, yeah, having to go to an office every day or even multiple times a week would take some getting used to.
yeah,
That's for sure.
yeah. And just as a side note, from 2001 through 2008, um, things have changed so much since that time period
Hmm.
of this industry. Back
Yeah,
then I was traveling all the time, like every week to a different client.
bet.
And then after the recession, 8 and 9,
Right,
travel kind of slowed down a good bit. It was still there, but not near as what it was before the recession. And then after COVID, it just kind of went away. So it's
right.
all laptop driven now,
Definitely.
which I'm fine with.
Yeah, I think there's more benefit than drawback to the scenario that we're in now.
Yep, our industry is really um, tailored for this kind of situation. So,
Absolutely.
um, and so, Jeff, any other highlights that you want to mention about your session that you're presenting with Alex? Any of your other coworkers that you want to mention? I haven't spoken with Alex yet, but I'll try to catch him in an interview upcoming pretty soon.
Um, yeah, I mean, I think I guess the only other thing here would be, something like this, and I'll touch on it during the session, but You know, even though this is, you know, very much an ERP oriented, you know, data that we're putting into data models and putting in the hands of power users to do self-service reporting. You know, the other element to this is a broader data strategy. You know, there's especially at my company, um, you know, we only have a subset of our business on D365. We still use NetSuite for our financials. We have, you know, other homegrown applications, other commercial applications, you know, in the application portfolio here. So, you know, there an element of this is also a broader data strategy so that you understand you know, system of record and source of truth for certain key data elements. Let's say your
Mm-hmm.
customers, you know, what's the source of your master customer list? Um, and then how do multiple data sources, you know, how does that factor into a broader data strategy so that you're not just operating with, you know, a minute amount of the data if some other data sources can inform and enrich, you know, the data that you might have in Dynamics, for example. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll touch on that a little bit, but what we do have in Fabric is actually as it stands currently, we don't just have Dynamics 365 feeding in. We also have our general ledger data coming in from NetSuite. We also have our legacy warehouse management system feeding in that we're migrating away from over time. So we actually have multiple data sources feeding into Fabric, and that's also the beauty of a platform like Fabric is it's
Mm-hmm.
flexible. It's not just for Microsoft products. It's product agnostic. So you can source and load data from all kinds of sources, files, databases, what have you. And so it's a very flexible and robust platform. So yeah, that's definitely something that if anybody is interested in understanding, you know, strategies or you know, dealing with the dilemma of having multiple data sources outside of D365, you know, we'll touch on that and speak to that as well in this session.
Awesome. So great points there, great products, and glad to have people like you sharing your knowledge with all of us at Summit. Because I mean, these products roll out so often now and get
Yeah.
updates and changes on such a quick basis that it's hard to keep up with everything. So, knowing people like you that work with this stuff on a daily basis really it goes a long way in helping everybody feel more comfortable, knowing who to go to, and um, being able to use it back at their offices.
Yeah, completely agree.
Well, hey, Jeff, thanks for joining me today. It is always great to share with our audience news about upcoming events like Summit. And to all of our listeners out there, if you get a chance, please try to meet Jeff in person down at Summit. It's always great to kind of associate a real person, a face, to a LinkedIn profile or an email address. So that way, when you go back to your office, you can associate the products that you're working with, any kind of issues that you're related to, and you'll say, oh, well, this is the guy I need to call. So you'll know exactly who to go to when you need some help back at your office. Jeff, thank you so much. I am really appreciative, all of us are, of your time today and looking forward to meeting you down at Summit.
Great. Likewise.